And so good day once again, grade 12 students. So now we are down with our last part of the business plan, which is the financial plan. So for the financial plan, one of the most difficult parts of the business plan is the financial plan. Not all entrepreneurs are adept with accounting procedures, rules, and reporting policies. However, there is no choice for the entrepreneur but to be familiar with the numbers. So if you are an entrepreneur, so kahit gaano po natin, hindi ka gusto ang math, so we still have to love math kasi po gagamit pa rin tayo ng computation sa entrepreneur. That's because we are dealing with, of course, computations and monies. The sustainability of the business depends on a meticulous monitoring of finances. So if we want to have a sustainability of our resources, so we have to make sure na we are monitoring our finances starting from the planning hanggang doon po sa running of the business. The financial plan provides entrepreneur the financial data such as the liquidity, cash flow, and financial standing of the business. This also gives the entrepreneur the basis for his or her decision on financial matters such as offering credit terms to customers or expand or sell the business. So nakadepende rin po sa ating kumbaga sa ating financial standing kung kaya po ba natin kumbaga mag-offer ng mga credit terms or ng mga promos or mga gimmicks sa ating customers. So we have to make sure na kumbaga marunong tayong mag-compute ng ating finances, ng ating kumbaga ng magkano yung lumalabas na pera, magkano yung pumapasok na pera, and kung may tinutubo po ba tayo dun sa ating business. So capital, so we need to know the following terms for the financial plan. So the capital is the money that will be allocated by the entrepreneur to establish a business. It shouldn't be mixed with the personal money of the entrepreneur. So when we say capital po, it is solely for the business only. So hindi po dapat natin, kumbaga pinagsasama yung ating mismong pera, yung personal money natin, dun sa pera ng ating business. Kasi po, pagdating sa computation, malilito po tayo dyan. So some sources of capital are, so ano po ba yung pwede natin pagkuhanan ng ating capital? So it can be personal savings. Kung talagang kumbaga, we want to start a business, meron tayong personal savings. We can also borrow from family or friends or from a bank or financial institutions. Ayan, so pwede kumbaga yung mga tinatawag nating mga loan sa mga bangko. Then we can also have some capital from the investors or stakeholders. So kumbaga hindi lamang tayo yung gagastos doon sa ating business. So meron tayong mga investors or stakeholders. So yun po yung pwede natin pagkuhanan for the capital. So yung capital, it will be our, of course, starting point for the business. Next, we also have to know the collateral. So collateral refers to a high value asset that is submitted by the business to the bank when applying for a loan and will be subject for repossession if the business defaults. So kumbaga, if we are planning to loan in any banks, lalo na po kapag malaking amount yung ating ilo-loan, so nahingi po ang bangko ng mga collateral. So kumbaga yung collateral po, it can be yung titulo ng lupa, ayan, kapag syempre sa paglaki ng ating lupa, so sa paglaki ng pwede natin kumbaga ma-loan. So there are different assets that we can use as collateral. So depende po sa pag-assess ng bangko kung gaano kalaki yung pwede nating i-loan. Yan. So if ever hindi natin mabayaran yung kumbaga yung loan na yon, so kumbaga parang pwedeng kuhanin noong bangko yung inyong collateral. Next is the revenue. Revenue is the output of a sale wherein the sales price exceeds the cost to produce the product or render the service. So kumbaga ito po yung ating income. And it is also considered, revenue is considered earned when the product is already sold or service has been rendered regardless if the business is paid in cash or credit. So when we say revenue po, so ito na po yung, kumbaga, yung kinita natin. Ayan. So yung product natin is already considered earned or nasa customer na siya and bayad na siya whether it is by cash or by credit. So remember that financial statements are important. So bakit nga ba mahalaga? Or ano-ano nga ba yung iba't ibang financial statements? So we have the income statement. So this is a financial statement that details the computation of net revenue by deducting the cost of sales, expenses, and taxes from the gross revenues generated. Ayan, so naandito po yung ating net revenue, yung ating kumbaga yung talagang kinita po natin. So na-less na po doon yung ating naging puhunan, yung mga naging expenses, and taxes po mula dun sa ating gross revenues. So the sustainability of a business largely depends on the net revenues because this increase the value of a business. Next is the balance sheet. So the entrepreneur must also prepare a balance sheet to account for the assets, liabilities, and owner's equity or capital of the business. A balance sheet is a core financial statement that describes the financial position of the business. The entrepreneur must separate his or her personal assets and liabilities and only account for what assets are attributable to the business. So ito po yung sa ating balance sheet naman po. And ano-ano ba yung iba't ibang elements ng balance sheet natin? The first one, so for the ABM students, so I know that these are familiar to you, the assets. So assets represent the resources of the business that are expected to have future economic value. For the liabilities, these are what the business owes to another person, a financial institution, or any creditor. So kumbaga ito po yung ating kumbaga yung ating inutang or yung hindi po yung sa atin na mismo either it can be pera, ano po. And the owner's equity or capital is the funds allocated by the entrepreneur to run the business. So this is solely for the business po. So hiwalay po dito yung ating personal money. So these are the different elements of the balance sheet. Next naman po, the next financial statement is the cash flow statement. So another very important financial statement is the statement of the cash flow. So it may look like, or it may look as if the business is earning enough, as seen in the income statement, but it does not mean the business has no cash flow issues. One issue is that the business can be selling on credit instead of cash. Thus, it is not liquid enough to pay its suppliers. So kumbaga po, although makikita natin sa income statement na may benta or may kinikita yung ating business, pero sa cash flow po kasi doon natin makikita kung may pumapasok po ba talagang cash dun sa ating business. Baka po kasi mamaya more on credit or more on credit yung payment and hindi naman po natin kumbaga naiibayad yung sa way of credit sa ating mga suppliers. So kung wala po tayong magiging pasok ng pera, so wala po tayong ibabayad sa ating suppliers or sa ating mga employers. So it is important that we have balance between the cash and the credit. So the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement are the basic financial statements that should be religiously prepared, monitored, and analyzed by the entrepreneurs, no matter what type of business they are in. These are tools that help them direct their business decisions to be strategic and effective. So nakadepende pa rin po, kumbaga sa ating financial statements or sa ating financial plan kung ano po ba yung mga next steps natin for the business. So if the business is going good, so paano natin i-maintain yung pasok ng pera yung pasok ng pera sa ating business or paano pa natin siya mas mapapataas. And if the business is not doing good, paano pa natin siya may improve. So nakadepende po 'yon sa ating revenue. Ayan. Okay, so that is the end of our different parts of the business plan. And if you have any questions or clarification, so do not hesitate po to message your subject teacher. So good day, everyone. God bless and keep safe.